Oh, there I am. Hey, good morning to you, and welcome to Night Moves here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. Preview the action for Wednesday, March 4th. My name is Ramon Scott. I'm going to go over the sports betting card here for a Wednesday. Major League Baseball, also, I should say, a World Baseball Classic getting underway today with one game, but we'll focus mostly on NBA, NHL, and college basketball tournaments in full swing. We saw some fun action there on Tuesday. You know, they're still competing in some of the leagues too for some, well, not many championships. I don't know if there's one or two left here really, but I think we know them all heading into the conference tournaments, and a couple of them got underway today. There's more tomorrow, and we're almost on that time. We kind of are. There's day games, and we're pretty much wall-to-wall basketball here for the next, for 12 days, 10, 12 days before we get to Selection Sunday and get the tournament underway. You know what that means, man. We're coming into the spring season here, and it's going to be some fun baseball, too. Like I said, we're going to be middle-of-the-night baseball. You like your baseball in the middle of the night, you're going to get some here over the next couple of days with some games across over in the World Baseball Classic. I want to thank folks for joining me here in the chat. The way this show works is I let the folks come in, cover some of the action, then we get to the previews, talk about each game, and you can comment on the games and give your picks as well. I flash them up there on the screen. Your picks are more important than mine here, so make sure you join me. Be a member of the Chat Pros, and I want to hear your picks for the action here on Wednesday. All right, and hey, pretty good day on Tuesday. Hope you folks did well with your picks here with the action. On Tuesday, we did have some winners here in the NBA as I came in with some action here over at Tony'sPicks.com. Brought home a winner with the Dallas Mavericks and the Charlotte Hornets with a premium pick here on Tuesday. It did go under there for sure as the Hornets got it done again as they blasted Dallas. There. Saw flag was a late scratch in that one. We did take the Hornets there in the Tankathon yesterday. Tankathon, I think, was just one game over 500. I think it showed a profit. We'll go over here real quick on some of the results from Tuesday. We also had a winner here on Night Moves last night with Pistons and the Cavaliers game to go under. Cavaliers got that win at home over the Pistons. So Pistons get a notch knocked off of their first place record. We also had a winner here on Night Moves in the Tankathon with the Orlando Magic as they crushed the Washington Wizards 126-109. They got that money there, laying 15 or so, 15 and a half. We got it there as well. Hey, we had a winner here on Night Moves with the Miami Heat yesterday over Brooklyn in the Tankathon as they won it by 26 points. We laid 13 here on the show last night. I had an over pick as my premium pick in that game, and I just started to get away a little bit once it got into garbage time. Miami did have, they were Tankathon. Miami was having like a little dunkathon there at the end, and they were able to get the money, and it went over. That was my only loser there in the NBA on the premium side. We had the New York Knicks yesterday here on Night Moves there with the win over the Toronto Raptors on the road. Knicks win at 111-95 to keep that dominance going over the Raptors. They dominate the Raptors. That's all there is to it. And we had them here on Night Moves. So we rolled with 5 straight winners to open the night in the NBA, although didn't go perfect our way here with the late action, but we were able to come home with a late win over on the premium side with the Phoenix Suns and Sacramento Kings game to go under. We also had the Suns here on the show last night. So 6-4 with the picks here on the show and 2-1 with the premiums over at Tony'sPicks.com. We had the under in that game between Phoenix and the Kings, and the Suns were pretty much in charge. They only covered by a point or two. So let's see the Tankathon there. That was another winner for the Tankathon there yesterday. Also, we didn't play the Lakers game here. I actually played the total here on the show, but the Lakers did get it done in the Tankathon last night, laying the small number, small number for a Tankathon, laying 7.5. They got the cover. Lakers cover in that role quite a bit. So hopefully you had some winners in the NBA. I'm going to come back at it here in just a few moments and hopefully give us some winners. But How about over in the NHL? Yesterday, with the winners here on Night Moves, we had the Buffalo Sabres on the show yesterday. They got it done over the Golden Knights, 3-2. Uh, the here's some of the scores from hockey last night: 3-2, 3-2, 3-2, and 3-2. I think four of the first five results were 3-2 games, and lots of one-goal games in there. Yesterday with the early action, we had that winner, as I mentioned. We also had the Boston Bruins over the Pittsburgh Penguins, 2-1. Bruins got the win there. We also had a winner here on Night Moves with Ottawa and Edmonton game to go over 5-4 in overtime. Is every Edmonton game 5-4, 6-5? Yeah, it is pretty much the way it's been going. We also had winner here on Night Moves last night with the San Jose Sharks. What a wild one that was against the Montreal Canadiens, and a 7-5 win for the Sharks here. Exciting night there in the NHL, and I didn't come in with any premiums last night in the NHL. It was a good betting card too, but we kind of went with the games here on the show, I think, and wasn't quite there for me, but late night, in case you missed it, first place Colorado was able to take down Anaheim big time, 5-1. I was on Anaheim here last night. Colorado got the win there. They were up 3-1 heading into the third and cruised on for the victory. All right, let's see. The Predators dealt center Michael McCarron for a second-round pick to the Wild. The one trade news there in the NHL. All right, college basketball started here and got underway with tournament action on Tuesday with just some of those first-round games. But we did sweep our Sun Belt picks here on the show with UL Lafayette and UL Monroe. I told you, the team with 4 wins and 17 covers, they got it done. UL Monroe was our pick here, 2-0 over there, although 1-1 in the Patriot League. We had Bucknell, they rocked Army, but Holy Cross, nice job by Holy Cross. Lafayette was a runaway favorite, and Holy Cross was able to get the win there in the Patriot League first round. And we'll cover maybe one game from each conference. We're not going to preview 16 games. That got a little tedious last night. We'd have to do every conference game from here on out, and there's going to be a few days where there's even more than that. So let's pick the best games from each conference. I won't trouble you too much for your time here tonight. Did have some winners, though, here on Night Moves last night, include in that heavy rotation, I think we can call it there, from last night's action anyway. We had Texas Christian. We had TCU there over Texas Tech. We had them plus 10. They won the game outright there last night with TCU and Texas Tech. And also had a winner here on Night Moves last night with Seton Hall and Xavier. Game total over was winner here on the show last night. And that was about it for the winners. I don't think the sides were too good, but we did come home with some winners over at Tony'sPicks.com. Let's go over the website and see who did well, and we'll say hello to everyone. And then I think we can get started here, get a few more people in here. I like to be seen when I'm doing this show, if you know what I mean. Okay, let's go over to Tony's Picks, take a look at the handicapper leaderboards, see who's hot over at Tony's Picks. And I know I'm up there somewhere from yesterday with some winners yesterday. There's the leaderboards. Let's see here. We've got Double Shooty on top of the leaderboards again. Doubles clicking here. Rolling doubles. 6-1 yesterday for nearly 5 units of profit. There's Solo. Another good day. Solo rolling 3-0 there. Top the handicapper leaderboard. There I am with 5-2. I think let's take. I think we're 6-2 there. I think one. Let me see here. I think one result might not quite be in. Let me take a look at how Ramon's doing over here. 6-2 on the day. It's going to read here eventually. More winning going on over at Tony's Picks. So make sure you check me out. Remember, I'm the guy who covers all these sports. Another winner in college baseball today. There, by the way. Today, as we had a premium winner on in the college baseball. I should be going more with a 5-1 start here right now. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Okay, there it is. Phoenix and Sacramento game under the game we're missing here is UCLA. We had UCLA last night. Filed some late steam, so hopefully all the subscribers were on board for that one. UCLA completed a pretty much an historic home season that's only been duplicated a few times in NCAA history. Now, one thing about it is they're not quite up there with the teams that may have done it in the past, but for all the record setting that they did, UCLA with this incredible uh, home season, three top 10 wins at home this season, and given their perfect record, it had only been accomplished by a few teams in NCAA history, and all those teams went on to win the national championship. Now they're not going to win. They're not going to win the national championship because they cannot do anything away from home, really. But they beat earlier this season number 9 Nebraska last night. They had some other top 10 wins this season as well. So Nebraska is turning out to be a little bit of a metrics fraud, unfortunately. Hey, fun team, great job, Nebraska, but UCLA had their way in that one. I added that one late. Should have been on there earlier because they were going to roll. But UCLA, maybe you can sneak one in there with UCLA in conference tournament play. Maybe they'll have just a little bit extra than some of these teams moving forward. But again, just a record-setting year for UCLA at home. And like I said, the only teams to kind of complete that similar type of record all went on to win a national championship. I think there were 5 other teams that beat at least 3 top 10 teams at home and went undefeated at home. I think is what it ends up being there, or undefeated in conference play, maybe it was. So, all right. Let me continue on here with some of the highlights. So from last night in college basketball with Miami of Ohio, we got to talk about Miami O. They did beat Toledo here to improve to 30-0 with 1 regular season game left. 6 of their last 12 wins. Look, you can Bruce Pearl. We already talked about him. What he said about it, and sure, you could say this is a weakness of Miami. You could also say this is a strength. 6 of their last 12 wins were either by 2 points or they won in overtime. Some of the games they won a little bit more than 2 points, but it still went to overtime. So they never trailed in this one. They led by 1 with 8.5 left, and they went on to win again over Toledo. Toledo did a great job, and they could meet again in the MAC semifinals. Carolina over Clemson, 67-63. Carolina's won 10 of 12. Clemson's going the other way. Remember when they were a game back at Duke, and now they've lost 5 of 6 after a 20-4 start. Georgia and Alabama, it did go over. It went way over. 75 possession game. Another Alabama track meet against a team that plays just like them. Should have not tried to buck the trend there, thinking that they'd try to outdo each other defensively in that one. It wasn't even funny. Georgia was pretty efficient too. 19 of 29 from 3. And Georgia got the win there. Georgia got the win there. They won 4 of 5, so a little bit of an upset there. Georgia won at home. Vandy over Ole Miss, as Vandy gets a much-needed win. It did go to overtime. Tanner had 34 points in that one. Utah State got crushed by UNLV. UNLV swept them against Utah State. First time they've done that in 12 years. And the Rebels have won 6 of 8. Can they get in? Upsets tonight included TCU over Texas Tech. Oklahoma State beat Central Florida in overtime. Arizona State beat Kansas. Bill Self got ejected again. He left the coach's box and said the referees were temperamental. And Ball State beat Western Michigan in overtime. Say hello to the folks in the chat here, and let me go down here some of the other games I had here with the premium picks. Look, I lost there. There it is. Nets and Heat got the loss there. Clemson and North Carolina under. That was a premium winner for me there. Monmouth Northeastern over, premium winner. Also, the Mavericks and the Hornets. I had the under there in that game, and I also had their A&T and Campbell just did go over. Well, I went over by 6 points. And there's my college baseball winner, Georgia over Kennesaw State. Georgia won it 11-1 on a shortened game. All right, let me go back to take a look, see who's hot over at Tony'sPicks.com as well. Steve Duncan, another fine day over there on the ice, 5-2. There's Stax McKelvey, 3-1. Great day for Justin. Great day for the Cappers. Look at all the Cappers in the green here. Nick Lagaretos, 5-3. Brian Bittler, 2-1. Al Ninos. Does Al just win his game every day? He just wins. That's all. I love Al. I mean, he just gets it done. Just has that one winner every day. You could retire. Millsy there, 1-0 yesterday for Mills Young. VIP account, 2-1. Shane Mickle, 2-1. Tony T, 2-1 yesterday. Ron Hahn, 2-1. That's a good group. 13 Cappers in the green. Last 7 days, it's Stephen Duncan up there, nearly 67% right there. 10 units of profit. David Racy, 6 3/4 units. Tom Regard doing a great job so far as a member of the team, up 5.5 units there. I am up 5, probably up 6 units there because of the win not in there. But Ron Hahn, nearly 5 units of profit. Mills Young, 4 3/4 units of profit. Rod Zawacki and Al Ninos, Joey Tron, Tony T, and the VIP account in the green there. Last 7 days, last 30 days, Stephen Duncan up nearly 26 units. Nick Lagaretos up 12 units. I'm up over almost 11 units there. David Racy up 8 units. Al Ninos up 5 units. Mills Young, nearly 4 3/4 units over at Tony'sPicks.com. And for the year, you see the top of the leaderboards there with Stephen Duncan already up 50 units in a little over 2 months. So might want to get hooked up with Steve. I know a lot of you already are cashing in on those hockey plays, hockey props. All right. Head on over there, click on the All Cappers tab, click on the handicapper of your choice, and that's how you get signed up over at Tony'sPicks.com. Hey, this would be a great time to hook up with me for a 3-day all sports pass. Let's ride in the weekend together. Let's go Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'll probably deliver here. I'm in a good group, so probably deliver here upwards of nearly 25 plays, I would imagine, over the next 3 days. So wouldn't that be worth your time over at Tony'sPicks.com? These are my high-end boutique plays, high roller selections. You might see me on some other channels and some other shows, but just know that my best picks, this is where I start every day. My top plays over at Tony'sPicks.com. I've got to get a lot of opinions out there. I've got to give a lot of plays. We start the list right here with the 3-day all sports premium pass. Just know that. All right, let's say hello to the folks here joining me in the chat pros today. You guys are lining up to say hello. I want to say hello to Victor Rojas there. Nice to have Victor Rojas. Haven't seen him in a while. Good to see you, Victor. Jimmy Two Shoes is here. Cal Dog's ready to go. Also, let's see who else is going to join me tonight as a chat pro. It looks like that might be the group. Jimmy Choo is all ready to go here in the World Baseball Classic with Chinese Taipei. We used to call them Taiwan. Remember in the Little League, and they were Taiwan, and then they changed to Chinese Taipei. But yeah, get ready for some great action tonight. The first games are ready to go here in the World Baseball Classic. It'll be at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific with Chinese Taipei and Australia. So they'll get it going in the World Baseball Classic, and then 2 games on Thursday from that region. That region gets started there just a little bit early with those teams. It's Chinese Taipei, Czechia, Australia, and Japan over there in that region at the World Baseball Classic. So it's going to be fun to kind of watch that one here over the next couple weeks. And like I said, we'll have kind of, some middle of the night action at the World Baseball Classic. All right. Let's see who else is here joining us in the chat. It's going to be Andre here. He had UCLA and the under there yesterday. Timmy Cal Dog talking about his winners here as well. Glad everyone had a good night. Looks like they did. All right. Is that it? That might be a roster call of the chat all stars here. A few more notes here, real quick, before we go. Before we get into the previews, give it another minute or two, get some folks in here. Uh, we did see that the F1 season may end up moving some races here. They're supposed to be in Bahrain and Saudi Arabia here in April in just about 5 weeks. You're going to have to start making plans now. You just don't make a Formula One race like move into another stadium or something and just make sure you have the beer working. So may see those races actually move out of the Middle East here shortly. And they're also have to get some of the team members and officials out of there. Everybody's having trouble getting flights out of the Middle East right now, so kind of hard to get everyone there going. Also, soccer action on Tuesday. It didn't come in with any premiums there with the EPL card, but how about Everton with the win over Burnley? They finally won at home for the first time in 3 months. Sunderland over Leeds, a penalty shot goal in the 70th minute there. Wolverhampton Wolves got the win over Liverpool, game-winning goal in the 94th minute, and Burnley and Brentford, scoreless tie. USA plays Canada tonight in the She Believes Cup. All right, let's see who's here, who's ready to go, who wants to talk a little sports and sports betting. Only other note from baseball, how about Jurickson Profar, his second PED suspension. He's going to miss 162 games. He's going to miss the whole season. How good do you have to be, right? I mean, is that the only way you can do it, or is there some kind of PED that's as an addictive drug or something? I don't know. There were some tune-ups in the World Baseball Classic national teams. The United States beat the Giants 15-1 as Skeens threw 3 innings and allowed 1 hit. Harper and Judge had 4 hits and 4 RBIs combined. Bregman and my man Roman Anthony with home runs. Mexico beat the Diamondbacks 6-3. Great Britain over Milwaukee 7-3. Israel beat Miami 1-0. They must have had good defense. And Netherlands over the Orioles 8-5. Okay, let's get ready to go here and start previewing. I think we're going to get everybody we're going to get in here right now, and we're going to preview some NBA to start it off. Then we're going into some hockey, going to some college basketball. I hope we pick the right ones. I mean, like I said, there are tomorrow, 18 tournament games, so I'm not going to put you through them all, but we want to touch on each league at least here. Okay, let's get started here right now in the NBA tonight. It's a 6-game card, and we have some good, important guys. I didn't see any games worth canceling here, worth getting rid of in the previews anyway. I thought they all seemed to have some significance here. Let's start it out with the Oklahoma City Thunder will take on the New York Knicks. Could be an NBA Finals preview right now, the way these Knicks are looking. Really strong here of late. Not just the 3 straight wins right now over Milwaukee, San Antonio, and Toronto. Really playing well. Still 21-11 at home against the spread. They're terrific at home, and usually they're a favorite, but here they're a dog to the Thunder. The total here, 222. We are seeing it at right now. Maybe just a little bit of movement here on the total within the last couple of minutes, maybe dipping down just a little bit, but we're at the Thunder -5. Now, SGA is going to play in this one, kind of, I think, rested up here a little bit for this matchup. Also, A.J. Mitchell, though, questionable. Brandon Carlson is questionable here as well. Hartenstein is probable. Guard Jalen Williams still out for the Knicks. Just McBride still is out. Been out for a month here now. So let's see what you like here, though, in this one. The Knicks are obviously coming in on the back-to-back, but they have traveled home. The Thunder on the back-to-back travel in from Chicago. Now, the Knicks were in Toronto last night for that big victory, and the Thunder. They did not get the money, by the way, in the tankathon, as the Bulls were able to cover there late. They had a nice fourth quarter on there and outscored the uh, Bulls, outscored the Thunder, but it was the Thunder really pulling away in the third quarter that got it done. The game was relatively close at halftime, and the Bulls actually took a little bit of a lead there for a while. So, could have been Thunder looking ahead to going to travel here to the Knicks for a really great game here tonight. And let's see how you see this one between the Thunder and the Knicks here, with the Knicks at home. Oklahoma City comes in having won 6 of their last 7. They've also defeated the Knicks in 7 of the last 8 meetings between the two teams, but the Knicks have won 5 of their last 6 games coming in. The Thunder, with their last 3 wins here, they're on a 3-game winning streak, wins over Denver, Dallas, and Chicago. But they're 0-3 against the spread in those games, so they're not covering their number here as a favorite. They are 28-31 against the spread as a favorite this season, but 10-3 against the spread versus the Knicks over the last 6+ seasons. Knicks have gone under in 5 of their last 6, but OKC's gone over in 10 of their last 15 games. 6 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams have gone over. The Knicks are 17-15 to the over at home. Only mention that because they kind of trend under as a dog, about 4-7 to the under as a dog, and the Thunder are 18-13 to the over on the road. So, you could think with this Knicks defense right now, but how will they fare up against the Thunder in this role? The teams have not yet met this season. Last year, they played both their games within a week span in January of 25. Oklahoma City won and covered them both as part of their dominance of the Knicks. Let's see what you have in the chat in this one. The Knicks getting points at home from the Thunder. Okay, it's going to be Cal Dog. He likes the Knicks. Timmy Chuchu says, you got to take the Knicks here. Andre says the Knicks plus the points and even take the over. Timmy says SGA will get 30 points just on the free throw line itself. How about when Doris Burke called out SGA on the air? This is gonna be an unpopular opinion with some, but how does he keep getting away with that? Good on you, Doris. Doris didn't get away with that. All right, I'm with you guys. Let's just take the Knicks here. I feel like this defense is doing something special right now. The Thunder. I'm not saying bigger fish to fry here right now, and if anything, the Knicks do have just a little bit more at stake here. Currently, it feels like the Thunder are just 3 games ahead of the Spurs. I get that. They could blow it here. The Spurs are playing very, very well, but the Knicks, they're in 3rd place. They can see the Celtics. They're on their heels a little bit. They're trying to stay away from the Cavaliers in 3rd place here. So I'm going to try the Knicks here at home. Plus, getting the money here may be a classic game here with these two right now. The way they're playing, it's just sometimes you want to look at the Knicks and say, well, are they for real this time or not? But right now, whether or not they're going to be for real in the long term in the postseason, that remains to be seen. It does feel like they're pretty solid, but the defense itself, it feels pretty good right now the way things are going. All right, Dort and Hart will chirp. Dort and Hart, going to get into it. And that last incident with Dort, how about that? Dirty Dort. We're talking Dorton here. All right, and let's see here. That might be it. Let's see. Yep, that might be it from you guys there. All right. Let's move on to the next one. We got 6 games here to look at. And the next one's not just as good, but who'd have thought this would be such a great game here, actually, the way the Hornets are playing right now. Yes, Boston's going to be favored here by 7, maybe 7.5. Total here may be a little bit higher than this right here, 214.5 right now. Boston Celtics come in on a 3-game winning streak, wins and covers over Brooklyn, Philadelphia, and Milwaukee. Boston's looking pretty good right now. I mean, they've looked good all season, but they're picking it up here again, getting it done. 7-1 straight up and against the spread in their last 8 games overall. But how about the Charlotte Hornets? They've won 5 straight. They've covered 8 straight coming into this one. They took down Dallas there last night, 117-90. The Celtics will be rested here off of their win over Milwaukee on the road last time out. Still, Charlotte, really clicking, 21-11 against the spread on the road, 26-16 against the spread as an underdog. The Celtics are a strong favorite, 26-19, but just 15-14 against the spread at home. This feels like the first real measuring stick test for the Charlotte Hornets that they've had since we've seen this incredible surge from them that really has catapulted them into being a good team, right? They've always been I don't know anybody. I don't know if we really saw it coming from this level of shock here with Charlotte right now. You wanted them to be improved. Young team, good nucleus. We've kind of been waiting on them a little bit. Hey, they got there. They've gotten here right now. Charlotte is just 4-8 against the spread their last 12 games against Boston here. Charlotte's gone under in 14 of their last 20. 6 of the last 9 meetings between the two teams have gone over, but Boston's gone under in 5 of 6. And I think we look at these two clubs. I mean, look at the total here, 214. I don't know if it's Boston here, 11-18 to the under at home, 16-29 to the under as a favorite. Charlotte, 15-27 to the under as a dog. So just right there, the fact that at Charlotte as a favorite, and Charlotte is an underdog, and Boston as a favorite, really it's almost about a little more than 60% unders here with those teams in that role. So let's see what you have here, but this is going to be a defensive game. And 7, it could be the Celtics in position to either teach them a lesson. They've won the last 4 meetings here between the two teams. This is the first meeting of the season between these two, so we're going to get a little bit more Hornets and Boston action here over the last few weeks of the season. The last meeting, Boston did not cover. It was at Boston here, but a little bit too long of a sample size really to go back here and refer to it, because it does feel like the Celtics, the Hornets are a little bit different animal at this point. But don't forget the games are still, yes, Boston here trying to chase down Detroit, but also for the Hornets, they're trying to make the playoffs here at this point. So, they could be, that type of motivation in itself could be enough to make them very, very competitive here. They are currently 2 games out of the 8th spot, and I don't know, it's going to be close. It feels like the trajectory would have them at least getting up there and challenging the Heat and the Magic possibly. And we'll see about the Sixers too. If Embiid is having some problems here, they may be the team to kind of fall, because we saw how bad the Sixers looked tonight without Embiid. Okay, let's see the chat here with this one. Cal Dog, though, likes the Celtics here. Timmy Two Shoes likes the Celtics. You guys are ready for the Celtics to show them who's boss. If anything, you could say, look, Boston -7, they're never minus. Let's see here. I can't even find the last time they were under a double-digit favorite. Con here for some threes. And he thinks it'll be a shooting fest here. I guess you'd have to take the over then, right? These are good shooting teams. Cal Dog likes us a shootout. I do not see. I am seeing it exactly the opposite here. Andre Ball going over in his prop here. Brown to go over his point. I've got an under in this one. I don't know if this game's going to get to 100 to 200 points, much less. I mean, these are, the one thing about the Hornets, Con Kneppel, the situation just great, right? Really exciting. Seeing, LaMelo, really, really, really develop here, and Bridges, Diabate, Brandon Miller. This group plays defense. They do play defense, and I think that's been key to the Hornets. Not, they're not up there with the elite defenses, but I think the turnaround has been more about their improvement on defense. So let's see here. The Hornets won't be able to handle Brown. Brown, funny how Brown kind of, missed some action in there a little bit with an illness. Um, we know that he had, has been fasting there in the religious holidays. So gotta get your protein, man. Uh, Also, Jason Tatum nearing his return. It won't be here, but man, could it be this weekend? Within the next week or so for Tatum? Queta, he's probable here. Kobe White, probable as well. I'm going with the under, you guys. If I'm wrong, come in here and laugh at me tomorrow, but I'm liking this one way under, you guys. Look, it's already built in there. 214 looks a little, like the books are obviously onto this situation too. You guys are saying, hey, you know what, the book, if you guys like the over that much, I mean, this must be like a premium for you guys, because yeah, these guys have been big time unders all season, and against one another it looks like it's gonna, to me, get in the muck a little bit. Okay, I think that's it for that one here, and let's keep moving on. A good game that worth watching, huh? Throwback here a little bit. Jazz and Sixers here. I think we're officially in the tankathon here in this one. I mean, the Sixers here are going to the play. Well, I said going to the play. I'm not sure yet, right? Especially here now. They are in sixth place currently. Talking about the Sixers, they are a game and a half ahead of the Magic and the Heat from the 8th spot here. So look, they're on the back-to-back here right now. They've lost 2 in a row. We know that Embiid having some problems here, so that makes it a little bit difficult here. He's still playing the Utah Jazz, who have shown up here a little bit of late. Utah just battled Denver there the other night and covered the spread, but before that it was a disaster. Philadelphia is 20-13 against the spread as a favorite this season. The total's 241 here. That's kind of how the Jazz plays, but I'm a little skeptical. I'm a little skeptical in this one. I know the Jazz have gone. In fact, I got to update this because it's actually down to 240 or maybe 239 and a half. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. And spread here maybe has gone up just a little bit to 9.5 right now. So see what you guys think here in this one with the Jazz and the Sixers. Let me get comfy in my chair. For the Sixers here, they're coming in off of back-to-back losses, albeit to Boston and San Antonio. They're still just 14-18 against the spread at home, but we are a bit in the tankathon here going up against the Utah Jazz. Jazz have been left in the dust here for quite a while right now. So let's see what you think here in this one. And I might just go to the tankathon, but I also think this total is a little bit questionable here. Utah has covered 4 out of the last 5 meetings between these two teams, but Utah's on a 6-game losing streak right now, going just 1-5 against the spread in those games. Philadelphia is 3-6 straight up and against the spread in their last 9 games overall. Philadelphia just 2-4 ATS in their last 6 home games. Philadelphia's gone over in 6 of their last 9. Utah's gone over in 4 of their last 6, but I'm not. These are over teams. I'm almost on the eye test here a little bit with this one because I just don't know if they're going to get. Yes, Utah, I like them better at home, I think, in some of those games to score a big total. At Houston, they had just 105. At Memphis, 114. there. And when you're talking about 240 here, I know Philadelphia does get involved in some scores right now. Just played a game with Miami recently that was 240 as well. So give me the Sixers. I'll go into the tankathon here and hope they blow out Utah here. But I think, look, if I'm going to take a blowout, it's going to be an under, I think, because I think that Utah on the road, yes, I know they've gotten some of their numbers here. Despite as bad as they've been, they're the number 7 scoring team in the league, the Utah Jazz. So I know I got burned on one of those, but all right, let's see what you got here in the chat. Utah and Philly. All right. Cal Dog might be on the under here, or maybe that was the Boston game. Let's see here. Timmy thinks it might be a dumb over, but maybe that was the Boston game. Jazz needs to score 100 points, right? They'd have to score. Look, their team total in this game, I guess, is going to be what, about 115, right? So they'll need to score more than that, or unless you're talking about just to win the game, maybe. All right, and I'll peek at the injury report here. Markkanen, he's out. You know what that means? Man, this guy misses a lot of games, doesn't he? Let's see here. Well, Kevin Love, he is probable for this game for the Sixers. Kelly Oubre is questionable. BJ Edgecombe also questionable. Janai Broom is out right now. That knee, bummer for him. And Embiid is currently out. So Cal Dog likes the under here in this one. I can't disagree. It's just that these are two over teams, no doubt about it. Philadelphia 19-14 to the over is a favorite. Utah 32-21 to the over is an underdog. Although for a team that does go over quite a bit this season, Utah is just 14 overs and 14 unders on the road. I'll take the Sixers though in the tankathon. The Trailblazers are on the road here visiting the Memphis Grizzlies. Oh, and look at this. It's up to 7.5 here. Is that
Major
right?
line move.
Oh, my goodness. It is going up here as we speak, it feels like. Here, I'm showing it up to 8 right now. In fact, Circa is up to 8.5 here in this one. Oh, my goodness. Well, look, I mean, this is in the tankathon here, and I kind of want to agree with it, but boy, all of a sudden now you're going to be asking Portland here to get a road victory and cover by nearly double digits against Memphis, and Portland's lost 2 in a row here right now. And they're in a desperation mode here as far as trying to get to the playoffs. Portland's in 10th place. They've fallen 3 games back here right now of the Warriors, still 3 games back from the Warriors here. Lost to Charlotte and Atlanta. This is their 4th straight road game here. They did start with a win and cover over Chicago, but pretty much got pasted by the Hawks and the Hornets. Now, the Hawks and the Hornets, we know we talk about the Hornets. Atlanta, we're talking about them next, and I've been totally impressed with them too. So maybe this one's a drop down here, and maybe Portland can handle this one. They didn't cover in the first meeting here about a month ago, 122-115. They did win at home as a 9.5 point favorite, but they only won by 7, and it feels kind of like that's where it's going to be here, this one, but I might be willing to get into the tank with the Blazers here one more time. Let's see how you have it, though, and then I'll maybe decide. Portland is 12-6 against the spread their last 18 meetings with the Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis is 7-3 against the spread their last 10 games. They've covered 3 in a row. They beat Dallas, they beat Indiana on the road, and then they beat Minnesota last night, or covered against Minnesota last night in the won a tankathon game, 117-110, covering 7, covering 14.5 when they lost by just 7 points. 14 of the last 19 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Portland's gone under in 12 of their last 15 on the road. but they've gone over in 10 of their last 13 overall. They're going under on the road and over at home. What is that going to mean here? Memphis is 16-23 to the under as a dog and 12-17 to the under at home. I think I got to go under in this one with Portland and Memphis. I really want to go into the tankathon here, but oh man, it's getting a little dicey here right now at 8.5. Give me the under here in this one with Portland and Memphis. In the chat, let's see what they had. Jimmy says the over is looking good in this one. Oh, that might have been the last game here. Let's see here. Jimmy's got it as a big time over in this one. Okay, man, I am not clicking with the chat today. He said it'd be a shame if this one went under. Cal Dog's on the under, though. Jimmy says maybe, though, it could be Brick City. All right. Hey, we're 4 down, 2 to go, and let's talk Atlanta Hawks basketball. Man, hey, one day the Hawks and the Hornets may be the meeting for the Eastern Conference Finals. The way these teams are, Atlanta looks good, man. 4 straight wins right now. They're playing 500 ball. They got rid of Trae Young, right? We said, oh, Trae Young is going to be back this week. Well, he went off the bench. Or what did he do? He left the bench in street clothes. He probably did it on purpose so he can get fined. Maybe he'll get suspended. I don't think he will. I think they just fined him. But Hawks here, 4 straight wins. The Bucks, 3 straight losses. Milwaukee struggling here against the Knicks, Chicago, and Boston here of late, kind of coinciding with Giannis's return. Not all 3 games, but maybe the anticipation of it. For Atlanta here, they beat Portland last time out, 135-101, won a couple of games at home against Washington, and also beat Brooklyn. Not a difficult schedule, but hey, Atlanta's playing well here right now. They got Jonathan Kuminga, and just when you wanted to label this guy a bust, turns out it was just Steve Kerr that had a problem with this guy, and you put him in a situation where he can feel a little more comfortable. Maybe he is a douchebag. I don't know. But he's looked great so far with Atlanta. A good trade. It looks like the Warriors finally got fleeced on something here. Remember, they don't have the same general manager as they did when they were winning those titles anyway. All right, we'll hear from you in the chat in this one between the Hawks and the Bucks here on Wednesday, with Atlanta coming in here having won 5 of their won and covered 5 of their last 6 games overall. Milwaukee mentioned the losing streak. They're 2-4 straight up and against the spread in their last 6 games. Milwaukee's gone over in 8 of their last 12 games at home. Atlanta, however, has gone under in 6 of their last 7 games. Is this a game? Milwaukee needs it. Atlanta needs it, but Milwaukee needs it more. But does Milwaukee even have enough to get into contention here? Right now, I'm still kind of, ready to draw the line at the Bucks. I don't think Chicago's going to make it anymore. The Bucks right now are 5 games back of the 8 slot. That might be a little bit too much to make up here with a couple dozen games left. But these are the games you'd have to win to do it, right? Here you're in a toss-up game, and this game, with Giannis in there, you would think, right, you put this game back early season here a little bit when we didn't know that Milwaukee was going to be a big flop, and they'd probably be much more of a favorite in this game because I don't think we knew Atlanta. You might not believe in Atlanta right now, and I don't, they're in the playoffs here. If they can just pass up the heat of the Magic, they're 1.5 games back. So important game for both teams. But is this the spot for Milwaukee? Milwaukee's just they are a favorite here, right? Are they still a favorite? Let me make sure of that. Yeah, 1.5 point favorites here right now. So see what you got here in this one. Does feel like if there's a do factor, I guess this would be it for Milwaukee, but Atlanta's looks so good here right now. Milwaukee 13-16 against the spread at home. Atlanta 18-14 against the spread on the road. These two teams met Back in January in their first meeting, it was 112 to 110. Milwaukee got the win as a 1.5 point dog in that one. And we're going to see these teams battle again. Let's go to the chat. Another good one. These are good games tonight, huh? All right, here we go. The Bucks do win once in a while. I mean, this is one you think. I mean, Giannis did not look good. He does look like the type of player that needs to get out there, especially at his age. I say it like that. He's, still supposed to be kind of in his prime, but with the injuries and how long he's been in the league. All right, Hawks. He's playing the Hawks, but maybe the Bucks could win, said Timmy. Cal Dog's on the Hawks here, playing hot. Can the Bucks get to 100 right now? I have real questions with the. I think Timmy just gave away my pick. All right, nobody else on this one. I'm on the under here with the Hawks and the Bucks. Give me the under in this one at 233. All right, one more tonight, and we're still going to look at it, even though the Pacers are playing here, but they're playing the Clippers here in this one. The Clippers, this one's in the Tankathon. Clippers favored by 12.5. Total, I think it's gone up here a little bit to 225. Oh, no, 225. There's some 226s out there, too. It's definitely teetering towards the over a little bit in this one. The Pacers are in a real funk right now. They're not coming close here in some of these games. Clippers back to heating up a little bit. They just beat New Orleans. They just beat Golden State. Got the money in both here. So they actually covered for their last 5. Pacers, though, they're not even coming close right now. 11-18 against the spread on the road here currently. Clippers 8-1 against the spread in their last 9 overall. 13-4 against the spread in their last 17 games at home. Pacers have actually lost 6 straight and failed to cover in all those games. Pacers have covered for their last 5 against the Clips, but that was a different time. Indiana's gone over in 4 of their last 5. Clippers have gone over in 4 of their last 6. 5 straight meetings between these two teams have gone over. I'm going to take the Clippers though here in the Tankathon. Give me the Clippers to blow out the Pacers here on Wednesday night. Guess that's it for the NBA. Let's see what you guys had in that one. Cal Dog says Clippers can't cover that many points. I don't think anybody agreed with me on any of my picks today. All right, Timmy does. So he said the Clippers can do it here. Yeah, don't forget. Yeah, a good point there. A little bit of got Ben Matter, he looks good here with the Clippers so far. And Pacers do have some injury things here we'll have to see. Siakam is questionable here. Nesmith questionable, but that is actually an improvement on his injury status. Nemhard questionable. And Obi Toppin is probable here. Clippers, John Collins still out right now. All right. I think that's going to do it there for the NBA. Wow. Okay, let's go to college ball. I hope we got some good ones picked out here. Like I said, we can't go over them all. We'll go over close games in each conference. Look, still got several days of action in these conferences. Some of them have some really weird. I don't even know what's going on in the horizon. I mean, I am an expert. Okay, I'm an expert. I'm an expert when it comes to tournaments, and I've been out at so many tournaments in my life. Mostly like youth and high school, and where you have an uneven number of teams and you got to guarantee so many games, and you've got that. I don't have any idea what's going on in the Horizon League. I don't. Are they drawing the teams out of a hat in the next round or something? There are still 10 teams of live in the Horizon League, and they're going to the second round. I don't know how that works. Apparently, 3 teams get a bye, and the remaining 2 lower-seeded teams have to play the next round to get the other 4th spot in the semifinals. Did that make any sense? There are 5 games left. In fact, one of them was that game tonight. the game between Green Bay and Fort Wayne. So Green Bay's already guaranteed themselves a spot at least in the second round. It just depends who wins. For example, if some of those high seeds were to lose, Green Bay could actually advance to the semifinals. But if the top three seeds win, Wright State, Robert Morris, and Detroit, those teams will all go right through to the semifinals, and then Green Bay will have to play the winner of Oakland versus Northern Kentucky in a second round game to go to the semifinals. Don't ask me why. Hey, I want to say hello to Brayson in the chat. Nice to have Brayson. He won 2 dimes on the Cavs tonight. How were they a dog? He said, how were they a doggy? As Mr. Higgs would say, against the Pistons. You're right. You got me on that one, Brayson. I thought the Pistons were going to go in and win, but I'm kind of happy that Cleveland is starting to succeed here again. Andre says Oakland will win the Horizon League. That's okay, Andre. Yeah. So, I think here, I hope it's built into the line. I'm not sure, Andre. You know better. You made the play. But like I said, if Oakland, if Wright State, Robert Morris, and Detroit all win, they're favored to win their games here today, then Oakland will actually have to play an extra game. If somehow one of those teams were to lose, Oakland goes right to the semifinals. Isn't that interesting? Okay, let's go to these college games now and see what we come up with. We'll start at the first game because it's the early game. So we're going here to the ASUN. Now, this is in Jacksonville. So I would say that Jacksonville is kind of a home team, although they're playing in North Florida's gym. So still, though, it's in Jacksonville. So it might be a few more people there for Jacksonville anyway. And this is an evenly rated matchup here, pretty much against Bill Armin. So let's take a look here what we're gonna see here in the ASUN tournament. Here over the next few days here, and see how this one's gonna lay out with the brackets. All right, this is the 8-9 matchup, so the winner will face number 1 seeded Central Arkansas in the next round. Now, Bellarmine's been a pretty strong cover, and Jacksonville has not been a great cover, really. Bellarmine comes in here 18-10 against the spread this season, while Jacksonville is just 13-16 against the spread. Bellarmine, they're on a losing streak coming in. They did beat Austin P last time out, 111-97 in a wild one there. Meanwhile, for Jacksonville, they've won 2 straight. They beat Stetson here and North Florida to come in this one. The other games today, we're not going to, I don't think, I'm going to look at the next one too. So we'll just keep it here. We're going to look at since we have kind of some standalone games in the morning here, we're going to look at the standalone games. You know that. So let me hear, though, from you in the chat in this one, Jacksonville and Bellarmine. Bellarmine 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 games overall. They've lost 5 of their last 6 overall coming in. Jacksonville's just 1-5 against the spread against Bellarmine here in the last 6 matchups between the two teams. Jacksonville's gone under in 4 of their last 6. Bellarmine over in 13 of their last 19 games. The two teams did meet earlier this season at Jacksonville on their home court. It was in that one. Bellarmine actually getting the win there, 77-70 as a 4.5-point dog on the road. So they did do it there. Bellarmine's been the better cover this year. I think the Sharps are going to be on Jacksonville here. Could it be maybe a little bit of home? I don't want to say home cooking here necessarily, but let me hear from you in the chat if you want to go about this one with Bellarmine here. for Bellarmine here. You got to come on down here from um, Kentucky here to take on this team that is basically in their own backyard. But I think Bellarmine's been the better team overall this season. Bellarmine is 18-10 to the over this season. Jacksonville just 11-18 to the under. They're also 6-11 to the under as an underdog here. So let's see what we got. Cal talks at this at 9 a.m. Yes, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. So we're getting into it. Timmy Two Shoes here with the under in this game. And Andre says under first half, under full game. Cal Dog likes Bellarmine here. All right, I think I can find a game with you guys that I'm gonna be liking here in this one. Give me Bellarmine, or I'm sorry, give me the under here in this one with. Don't give away the picks here. Jacksonville and Bellarmine here. I will take the under in this one. Okay, we're going to go to the next one here, also in the A-Sun, just because it's kind of a standalone game a little bit at 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 Pacific. So that's how we'll roll here with these two standalone games today. These are really the only two. By the time we get to the next game, it is for a half an hour or so the only game. But these two are total standalone games here with Florida Gulf Coast favorite here. The Eagles favored by 7.5 here now. Is that right? Is this one going up a little bit? Currently, it is 7.5 total, 143.5, 144 or so in this one with Florida Gulf Coast and North Alabama here in this one. The winner of this game will take on Lipscomb in the second round. Now, North Alabama is the lowest seeded team here in the Atlantic Sun tournament. They come in here just 9-20. Gulf Coast comes in 14-17 right now. Gulf Coast has lost 2 straight coming in. They lost to North Florida. They lost to Stetson. Gulf Coast has not been a good cover team all season. They're just 3-15 against the spread as a favorite. The spread's going up here. North Alabama, not great against the spread, just 10-17 against the spread. However, 10-10 against the spread as an underdog, 0-7 against the spread as a favorite. I think this one's shaping up for a little North Alabama cooking here. Florida Gulf Coast won the first meeting this season, won the last meeting they played, 72-64, but they were laying 9.5, won by 8. They did cover in a blowout win at North Alabama in January, 72-55. As a 3-point favorite on the road. Both games did go under here between these two. Florida Gulf Coast has gone under in 7 of their last 10 games overall. North Alabama has gone under in 8 of their last 12. North Alabama, like I said, not a great cover overall, but at least they're 50-50 when getting the points, and Gulf Coast has been dismal. 7-22 spread record overall. That's one of the worst in the country. Florida Gulf Coast has failed to cover in 7 of their last 8, despite the fact they've won 4 of their last 6 games overall. Just 2-10 against the spread in their last 12 conference games. I'm talking about the Gulf Coast Eagles. I got to take North Alabama here in this one for sure. Here, primed for an upset as the worst seed in the tournament. Give me North Alabama here in this one. All right, let's take a look here. And Timmy says, they can't cover this. Come on. Andre says North Alabama plus the points. Cal Dog likes North Alabama. You guys see it like I do here. North Alabama here, coming off a loss here before the tournament. They lost to West Georgia. We're getting 10.5 points. No good. Did beat Bellarmine at home, 73-68. 2 games back. Lost to Lipscomb. got blown out in that one on the road, covered against Queens. And don't forget, I mean, we've got in this league, like I said, a couple of buys here. So you've got teams like Queens and Austin P. We're not going to cover those other games, but they are Stetson and Eastern Kentucky. Will play the game at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific. And North Florida will take on West Georgia. The winner of that one plays Queens. The winner of Eastern Kentucky Stetson takes on P. That's it for the ASUN today. We'll keep narrowing it down here. Let's move next to the NEC here with, the thing about watching night moves, we've covered some of these teams. You're going to have some shows out there and they're going to make fun and they're going to be, making fun of team names and trying to guess what the mascots are. Not here with you guys. You guys are with me all year and we've been, at least covered these teams. It feels like somewhere along the line, once or twice, just keeping your eye on them here. So let's see how we're shaping up here in the NEC in this one. And this one, we do have 4 games here in the NEC today, starting with, and they all are, let me make sure of this, I think they're all at the same time here, 7 Eastern and 4 Pacific. So I have chosen the game between Mercyhurst and Fairleigh Dickinson. Just felt to me to be like the closest of the games in the NEC today. Let me make sure I got the bracket right here, though, too. Okay, in this tournament, the pairings will be reseeded after the quarterfinals. So the best teams will play the better seeded teams, if you will. For example, LIU and Central Connecticut are the top 2 teams. They're guaranteed, not to face each other. They will face the worst teams just in case of an upset or something like that. So you'll have the worst seeded team take on the higher seeded team, and then in the middle team, same thing there in the middle. If you get my drift. All right. For Fairleigh Dickinson here in this one, they come in 11-20 right now, losers of 3 straight. Mercyhurst here, the 3 seed, favored by 3. Mercyhurst comes in off of a win over Stonehill, 75-62. They lost to Central Connecticut, but did cover, and before that they beat Long Island and covered. Mercyhurst has been a great cover this year, 19-10 against the spread, 9-6 against the spread as a favorite, 7-4 against the spread at home. We're on campus sites. Although we could play, do they still do this tournament where they got the curtain in the middle? You can play the 2 games at once and you got the 2-sounded whistle. Fairleigh Dickinson, not a great cover at all. 5-12 against the spread on the road. 10-18 against the spread overall here. Feels like Fairleigh Dickinson's overmatched to me. These 2 teams did meet this season already twice, and it was Fairleigh Dickinson winning them both actually over Mercyhurst. Fairleigh Dickinson won and covered them both. Man, for a team that didn't cover many games, they sure did it against Mercyhurst. So 74-67, F. Dick won on the road as a 5.5-point dog, and then Dickinson won at home, 55-52. Covered the spread as a 2.5-point favorite in that one, but going to have to wrestle a little bit here with the series history this season. Comparatively, because it's been mostly Mercyhurst getting numbers here this year. Let me hear from you in the chat in this one with Mercyhurst taking on Fairleigh Dickinson in the NEC. This is the only one we're going to look at here in the NEC today. We'll mention these other ones, though. Like I said, what was the other one I left off? Oh, LIU and Chicago State. I mean, come on. LIU, number 1 seed. Fairleigh Dickinson is 10-18 to the under this season. Mercyhurst, 7-4 to the over at home, 9-6 to the over as a favorite. Mercyhurst has gone over in 5 of their last 6 conference games, over in
Major
5
alignment.
straight, basically. Fairleigh Dickinson's lost 17 of their last 20 games on the road. They've lost 4 of their last 5. They've failed to cover in 6 straight here. So, yeah, they maybe have played well against this team, but how much of it was maybe just a one-off because they're not covering anything right now. Mercyhurst has won 16 of 19 at home and covered 5 of their last 6. I'm going to take Mercyhurst here, and if it's an upset, good on you. Give me Mercyhurst over Fairleigh Dickinson here in this one. All right, and we've got here here's Fairleigh Dickinson for Andre. Here's Mercyhurst for Cal Dog on the money line. Why not? I mean, we just said all those different. And Timmy says, look, a 133 here. I don't have it wrong, do I? Yeah, in fact, it's down to 132 right now. A few places here. Again, Fairleigh Dickinson is a pretty hardcore under team as an underdog. They're 5-10 as an underdog this season. Mercyhurst, a little bit of overs here, but I'm just going to take Mercyhurst, and we'll check in with the NEC here. As far as the NEC tournament is concerned, hey, look, I know everybody wants to watch watch the games here a little bit, right? If you do want to watch the NEC and it's not an ESPN Plus conference, they have their own app. I think later on, of course, it gets on to the big network when they get to. I think when they get to the next round or the semifinals or finals there anyway. But in this round, there's an app you can just go to your Fire Stick and download NEC Front Row, and you'll be able to see those games. NEC Front Row, or it's NEC app. All right. Next up, let's go to the Wacky Horizon, where I was trying to figure out how you advance. Who do you play in the Horizon if you win? Well, I think I figured it out. But it will be Oakland taking on Northern Kentucky here. And again, Oakland can guarantee themselves more likely Oakland, because Northern Kentucky is probably not going to know that if there's any way they can. But yeah, well, I guess if like Cleveland stayed upset right and Youngstown beat Robert Morris, then maybe Northern Kentucky could actually advance to the semifinals. But Oakland could advance to the semifinals if Mercy or Robert Morris or Wright State, if any of those teams lose. Otherwise, Oakland's going to play Green Bay in the next round if they win this game. I mean, this is a closely rated game. Oakland's only favored by 2, despite the fact they're the 4 seed. So let me not get ahead of myself here. Oakland's been pretty decent cover, and they, how their games kind of go. But let's see here: 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. 4th seeded Oakland. They won 2 of 3 coming into this one. They just beat Milwaukee and IU Indy before they lost the season finale to Detroit. They're 12-7 against the spread as a favorite here. These are campus sites here in this one. They do move to Indianapolis after this. In a couple days, actually. After this, in the Wacky Horizon, they actually take like 4 days off and then come play in Indianapolis. So NKU is just 2-6 against the spread as an underdog, 6-8 against the spread on the road. They're coming in off of a loss to Wright State, just 92-91 at home. They were actually favored though in that game. They did beat Cleveland State, so NKU has an interesting resume. Actually, they lost to Youngstown, but beat Fort Wayne before that. They beat IU Indy before that. This season, the 2 teams met, and it was Oakland winning both, 82-77. They won at NKU, and then Oakland won at home, 76-65, covering both games as a favorite. Northern Kentucky comes in here just 2-9 against the spread in their last 11 games. Overall, Oakland here 2-5 straight up in ATS in their last 7 games overall. Northern Kentucky's lost 4 of the last 6 meetings to Oakland, although they do come in here having won, as I said, 4 of their last 6. 4 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams have gone under. Northern Kentucky, though, is 9-13 to the over. 9-4 to the over in their last 13 games. These two teams are combined 35 and 23 to the over this season. They play a lot of overs, but usually not in this role, although it's just tightly contested here. I would think this one could be an over here with Northern Kentucky and Oakland. Both regular season meetings did go under, however, but the total was far lower than this. Far higher than this. The totals in the two regular season games were 166 and 163. Amazing to consider how these teams are playing tempo-wise this year. Last year, when the two teams met, the totals were 129. But that's because we've seen these overs this year from these two teams. So let's see what you have here with Northern Kentucky and Oakland in the Horizon League. Other Horizon League games today include Wisconsin, Milwaukee, and Detroit, Youngstown and Robert Morris, Cleveland State against Wright State. Every game is kind of a team that covers spreads against a team that doesn't in this league. Here we go. Let's see what you got. It's going to be Oakland for Andre. He says Oakland wins this tournament. And Cal Dog says he's not just being a smart aleck. He says because Cal Dog is from the Bay Area, so but he's talking Oakland, Michigan here, of course. And let's see. Timmy Tucci says Oakland and Northern Kentucky are over teams. He's got to like the over in this one. And Timmy says it opened higher there, but then it went down to 158 or so there. Yeah. Wow. Let me see here. Yeah. Wow. How about that? Yeah. Thank you, Timmy. Okay. All right, I guess I got to make my call here in this one with NKU and Oakland. I like the side and the total here, actually, but I'm going to go with Oakland here in this one to get it done at home. Give me Oakland over NKU. All right, and so I think we covered that there with the Horizon. Next up, let's go to we're in this league, so we did cover them a little bit yesterday. I'm only going to cover the one game here between Old Dominion and Georgia Southern. The other matchup in the Sun Belt is UL Lafayette and JMU. So let's take a look at where we stand here in the wacky Sun Belt. They've got the ladder where you've got to win all these games in a row. So Louisiana just beat Georgia State 84-75 last night to earn the spot against James Madison. And here, Old Dominion beat Monroe 87-80. They did not cover against a Monroe team that had just 4 wins this season, but we said Monroe is a great cover, and Georgia Southern and Old Dominion not so much. So they meet up here with the 10 seed. This is the 11 seed against the 10 seed, and the other one's a 9 seed against the 12 seed. And then the winner of this game will play Arkansas State, and then the winner of that game will play South Alabama, and then the winner of that game will play Coastal Carolina, and then the winner of that game will play I'm serious. That's the way it goes. It goes all the way. We've already talked about it, but Troy and Marshall, the top 2 teams in the Sun Belt, are already in the semifinals. They get to wait until Sunday to play their games, and then these guys are kind of battling it out here. I think was it last year they did this format, and one team did go pretty far. Maybe they won 4 or 5 games or something like that. Does anybody remember? All right, let's see what you got here in this one with with the Old Dominion here taking on Georgia Southern. Want to hear from you in the chat. This one's at 5:30 Eastern, 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific time here in this one. Okay, Old Dominion comes in here having won 4 of their last 6 games overall. They've actually lost Old Dominion 6 straight meetings to Georgia Southern, coming in going just 2-4 against the spread in those games. These are being played, by the way, in Pensacola, Florida. So, um, neutral site. Neutral site game here in the Sun Belt Conference. Old Dominion comes in here 11-20 following the win over Monroe there yesterday. They were favored by 10.5, did not cover. They're basically a 500 proposition against the spread. For Georgia Southern here, they obviously are rested. They closed the season with a win against Marshall, although they had lost 3 straight before that. Georgia Southern is just 2-8 against the spread in their last 10 games overall. 5-8 against the spread, or 5-9 against the spread. Let's see here. Let me make sure I get the stat right here. I don't want to be wrong on this. What do we say? 2-12 against the spread in their last 14. Not 2-8. Well, they were 2-8. 2-12 against the spread last 14 games for Georgia Southern. They've lost 9 of their last 12 overall. So, look, it's been a good series history here for Georgia Southern, but they have not been necessarily the better team down the stretch here. But maybe the series history could be what covers it. These two teams have met this year twice, and it was 93-86. Georgia Southern won at ODU, and they also won 87-84 at home, but did not get the money in that one. Okay, I'm going to go to the chat here. This one, see what you have between Old Dominion and Georgia Southern. Thanks for joining me here on Night Moves. All right, go to the chat, and it's going to be ODU here for Andre. And Jimmy Chushu says he'll go over in this one because of Georgia Southern. Yeah, Georgia Southern 16-13 to the over this season. The 2 regular season meetings went over. Old Dominion's 19-11 to the over this season. And they're all over in 7 of their last 10 here in this one. Still a pretty big number, though, in there. All right. I think that's going to do it from the chat, so I guess I got to make my call here on this one in the Sun Belt. Oh, we got one. Okay, well, hold on. We got, let's see. Cal Dog likes Old Dominion in there. And Timmy Chushu says he thinks Georgia Southern here is an automatic over the way things have been going with this club this year. Yeah, I mean, these two teams went over pretty close to it anyway. I mean, 171 and 179 points. No reason to think they won't do it again. I got to go over here in this one with Old Dom and Georgia Southern. Give me the over in this one. All right, let's move now on here to the Ohio Valley Conference here on Wednesday. See where we stand here with this group of teams. All right, Arkansas Little Rock, the 7 seed, takes on the 6 seed Lindenwood. This is another ladder bracket. Same thing, just a smaller conference as the Sun Belt. The Tennessee State and Morehead State are already in the semifinals, which will take place on Saturday on ESPNU. The winner of this game will take on 3rd-seeded Southeast Missouri State. The other matchup in this conference, these are being played in Evansville, by the way, so it's not a home site. So the earlier game here will be Edwardsville and Eastern Illinois, the 5-8 game, with the winner advancing to take on Tennessee Martin. The winner of that game takes on Tennessee State. In this one, Little Rock and Lindenwood, the winner takes on SEMO, and then the winner of that game takes on Moorhead. The championship is Saturday. Lindenwood comes in here as a 2.5-point favorite in this one. Total 148. Lindenwood 17-14. Arkansas Little Rock just 12-19. But Lindenwood was cold down the stretch. They actually had several losses in a row before finally winning over Western Illinois, 91-69. They did crush, but before that they lost too. Eastern Illinois, Tennessee Tech, Tennessee State, SEMO. They just have not been a great cover. They are 7-12 against the spread as a favorite this year, 10-18 against the spread overall. But Little Rock hasn't been any good either. They're 12-17 against the spread, 7-11 against the spread as an underdog. Little Rock comes in also off of a win. They beat Southern Indiana 89-70 last time out. They lost a few down the stretch as well. They lost 9 of their last 12, did UALR. Although they won 4 last 6 meetings against Lindenwood, they went 3-7 straight up in their last 10 conference games. Lindenwood has gone 1-4 straight up in their last 5, 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games overall. Lindenwood's gone over in 10 of their last 15. 4 of the last 5 meetings between the two teams have gone over, including both meetings this season. They split the meetings, however, winning on each other's home court. Lindenwood won in Little Rock 79-74, but Little Rock won against Lindenwood at Lindenwood 82-74 as a 6.5-point dog. But both these teams are subpar ATS for sure this season. Lindenwood 17-11 to the over this season. They're also 12-7 to the over as a favorite. Little Rock's 8-10 to the under as a dog. Let's see what you have here in this one. All right. Andre likes Lindenwood. Timmy's going to be on Lindenwood here. And Cal Dog likes the over here with these two. Yeah, that might be the call, Cal Dog. All right, I got to make my call here in this one with Arkansas, Little Rock, and Lindenwood. I'm taking Little Rock to win this one. I'm going to go with a little bit of a I don't know if it's a surprise here necessarily. Like I said, Lindenwood has not been a good cover. I'm going to take Little Rock here in this one. All right, and let's see here. I think we've got time for no, that's it. That's it. We've covered every conference here. Although in the Big South, there is one first round game. I don't have it previewed. These are not exactly. We've got more games to come in the Big South. All right, let's get to hockey. But just want to mention in the Big South, the opener here will be first round matchup, the 8-9 game between Gardner Webb and South Carolina Upstate. The winner plays High Point in Friday's quarterfinals. This is being played in Johnson City, Tennessee. So High Point's the number 1 seed, and then the other matchups in the quarterfinals on Friday, Asheville and Longwood, Winthrop and Charleston Southern, Radford and Presby there, and they'll get underway here in the Big South. Okay. Oh, also Summit League first round game as well. Mo KC takes on Oral there, another low-seeded game, if you will, in that one, although Oral is an 8-point favorite in that matchup against Mo KC in the Summit. And first round game there. Okay, that's it. Let's go to the NHL here right now. We got a quick 5-game schedule, and then my night moves will be over. And I can still make it to Taco Bell. All right. Here we go. Next up, let's go to the NHL tonight with the Vegas Golden Knights. They're on the back to back here, taking on the Detroit Red Wings. Last night, Vegas lost to Buffalo. What was it? 3-2 there last night. Vegas lost for the third straight game here. This is a fifth game of the road trip. They obviously are not liking traveling here on the East Coast right now. They've lost consecutive games here to Washington, Pittsburgh, and to Buffalo. So, they played okay last night. I thought they, had a big chance there. In the game. I mean, they were in it all the way there, especially when they got the 2 goals there in the second period, but couldn't score in the third. For Detroit here, meanwhile, they come in off of a win over Nashville, 4-2 last time out. They're 2-1 out of the break right now. But Vegas, uh, just 3-7 as an underdog this season. Detroit is 15-11 as a favorite, 18-10 at home right now coming in. So look, Vegas is not enjoying the road trip, that's for sure. These two teams played one other time this season, and it was Vegas winning at home 1-2 in that one. Let's see what you think here with the game tonight. Can Vegas find a win here on the road? They've lost 6 of their last 7 on the road. They've lost 8 of their last 11 overall. Detroit has won 4 of the last 5 meetings between the two teams here in Detroit. So 4 of the last 5 years, basically. Detroit has been going under here of late. They've gone under in 5 of 6. They've also gone under in 10 of their last 14 at home. Vegas has gone under in 4 of their last 5. The Red Wings are 9-17 to the under as a favorite. It feels like a bit of an under here, especially if they're going to lay a 6 on this game out there. But I think I just might have more faith in just taking the Red Wings at a modest price here at $1.35 here in this one. It looks like right now might be going up. But Mark Stone announced questionable here earlier today. Also, you got Hutton, the defenseman, questionable. Smith is questionable. So some issues there. Now, look, I have Gibson in here, but he has an injury. Let me look to see what the situation is. It might not be Gibson here actually on Wednesday. He's been battling an injury here right now. Still, Vegas is 6-4 as to the over as an underdog. Let's see what you got in this one. They're also 14-11 on the road. So if it's, we'll see let's go to the chat. All right. Andre likes the over here. Cal Dog, though, likes the under. And Timmy says, come on, Knights, just one win somewhere, anywhere. Larkin, anytime goal. Golden Knights for Cal Dog. All right, I guess that's going to do it there from the chat in that one. Man, I'm going to take
critical notice
Detroit Red Wings here in this one. Give me the Red Wings over the Knights right now. I'm a little concerned here about the home team. I'll take Detroit. Next up, Maple Leafs on the road here, taking on the Devils. We probably could have covered 2 basketball games here and not bothered with this one. What were we thinking here? A couple of also rans here. Sorry, guys. Wasn't focused. All right, Toronto comes in here having lost 4 straight. Like I said, New Jersey here with 2 straight wins. Maybe they've got a chance. I don't know. But New Jersey here, 14-13 at home this season. Toronto 11-17 as an underdog here. New Jersey is 10-19 to the under at home. That might be just, I'll go with the under here. I don't want to spend too much time on here now that I think about it with this game. We should have put in another basketball game or two. Cover those other basketball games that we didn't cover. But let's see how you guys have it here in this one. We'll just move on. Toronto, let's see here. They actually won 9 straight games against New Jersey on the road. That's got to count for something. New Jersey's lost 5 of their last 7, but Toronto struggled here too with 4 straight losses, albeit against Tampa Bay, Florida, Ottawa, and Philly, but still struggling here a little bit with the four straight losses. New Jersey with back-to-back wins over St. Louis and Florida outscored them 8-2 in those games. New Jersey's gone under in 8 of their last 10 at home and 7 of their last 8 overall here. It feels like an under here with this 5.5. And two teams met back in December. It was 4-0. Toronto won at home in that one. So let's go quickly here with this one. Devils for Cow Dog. Hey, Jermaine made it tonight. Van Riemsdyk here for Timmy Two Shoes. Andre likes the Devils here, but Timmy might take the Leafs. Like I said, I think 9-0 on a series history in the same building. I think that's worth something. Hello to Up One Money tonight. Timmy says the Leafs have lost some. They got to come back here. All right. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the Leafs. I like that. I like that series history here. We got two teams that have nothing, that don't really have a chance. So I'll try the Leafs. All right. Hurricanes and Canucks here. It's about the Hurricanes, of course. Still a huge favorite here. We'd skip this one too in baseball season with $3 favorites probably. Anyways, got Carolina coming in here, 38-16-6 right now. Vancouver 18-35-7, completely opposite. The Hurricanes come in here right now, looking pretty good. They did lose last time out, but again, they were on a roll. They're 2-1 out of the break here. They just lost to Seattle, but hey, we were on Seattle in that game, remember? For Carolina here, they've won 5 of their last 6. They've actually lost 13 of the last 16 meetings here in Vancouver. It's hard to want to even think that maybe could Vancouver compete. They're 2-14 in their last 16 games overall, but that's pretty dominant. 13-3 at home against them. Vancouver's lost 6 straight. Carolina's gone under in 5 of their last 6 on the road. They've also here met back in December, or November anyway, and it was 4-3. Carolina won at home, did not cover the puck line there, but Vancouver's had plenty of issues here of late with a losing streak. They're not even coming close in some of these games right now. Lost to Dallas 6-1 last time out. Lost to Seattle before that 5-1. Also had a loss to VGK 5-2. Lost to Utah 6-2 here. So you may say, hey, you know what? Wow, Carolina's had some problems in here when playing Vancouver, but right now Vancouver's just at a real low point. And Carolina's, look, they lost to Seattle. Seattle's playing pretty okay right now. Let's just take the Hurricanes on the puck line. I'll do it. A little bit square on this, but man. Okay, let's see here. A couple picks. Canes on the puck line, Carolina on the puck line. Andre says the value is on the Vancouver puck line. I don't know. Trying to find some Vancouver value. All right. Yeah, you're right. It's just hard. I mean, look, I'd love to give them a chance. If they had any life in them at all, right, you'd want to take them. This would be the situation to take a team, right, when they beat a team. Now remember, when Carolina's coming in here 3-13 in the last 16 meetings in Vancouver, that's basically 16 years. So it's really not that. But again, I don't mind those type of trends because I think it reflects on the travel situation that the team's in. A lot of these teams have had the same accommodations, the same travel schedule into certain cities that whole time. And to me, that's what we're doing handicapping. We handicap the human algorithm, whether the team is going to be up or down, tired or not, and the schedule, right? Otherwise, we would just, pick the Golden Knights to win every day, or, the best team to win every game, right? That's not how it goes. All right. That's it for that one. We got a couple more here real quick. Talking about Seattle, how about them in this one? They're at home against the Blues with Decord in there. give Decord credit here a little bit. Here, Seattle's won two in a row right now. Wins over Vancouver and Carolina. We just talked about it. We had them in that game, but Joy Decord. Uh, you could do worse than Decord right now. I think he's looked pretty good here of late. He's up to 18, 13, and 5 with a 2.74 goals against. Could be Bennington, could be Hofer in here. Not quite sure on this one, but St. Louis coming in here off of a road win at Minnesota. They're actually 2-1 out of the break. They beat Seattle 5-1 at home. You got revenge. I know my chat here, the chat pros love a little revenge. I think they're going to be all over this one. Seattle's 16-9 at home. St. Louis is just 8-17 on the road. They're dealing with $1.35 here. The Sharps are going to be on the Blues here, I'm pretty sure, despite maybe what you might see in this like a little cheap actually with St. Louis. We know they're not going anywhere here right now, and Seattle, they're still battling a little bit right now. Currently sitting in fourth place, so I think they can hold off. See San Jose here, maybe get to the postseason anyway. For the Blues here, they're in last place, so they're down 10 units this season on the road. I'm just going to take Seattle in this one. Look, they lost that game, by the way. That meeting out of the well, it wasn't out of the break, but Seattle started slow. They lost 4-1 to Dallas and then 5-1 to St. Louis. Now they did bounce back with these two wins, but they did start kind of awkwardly here out of the break. Seattle is 9-21 to the under at home, 1-6 to the under as a favorite, and St. Louis is 18-23 to the under as a dog. You got to think this is going to be 3-1, 3-2, somewhere right in there. I'll take Kraken. Let's get Kraken. Here's Cal Dog on the Kraken. And anytime goal for McCann here. Jimmy Two Shoes went with the Blues here in this one. Hey, they just beat him 5-1. Why not? Why wouldn't they beat him again? Andre here, Kraken and under. And yeah, it might be. Let me see. Might be 5.5 there. I mean, I'm sure it is. It's just a matter of how you're going to price the sixes. Circa has 6 under 15, but everywhere else is 5.5 over. So you're right. All right, one more tonight. I think my stomach's growling. All right, here we go. Islanders and Ducks. Hey, pretty decent game here. What happened to the Ducks last night? Man, got beat up there by Colorado. I think they were sending a message a little bit. Talking about the Avalanche, saying, hey, the West still runs through Colorado right now. But both teams coming in here very, very hot. The Islanders have been terrific here with 3 straight wins out of the break, and they were winning before the break, so they are on a winning streak. Meanwhile, for the Ducks, they're pretty good too, but they did lose. Obviously, their last night, it was 5-1. They got pummeled. No other way to look at it. Still, Anaheim's won 8 of their last 9 games at home, 5 of their last 6 overall. Islanders have won 5 straight, 4-1 their last 5 on the road, and they're 7-2 in the last 9 games against the Anaheim Ducks. So they've kind of had it on them. The Ducks and the Islanders have gone under in 5 of their 7 meetings here, 5 of the last 7 years, basically, in Anaheim. The Ducks, though, are 15-5 to the over as a favorite, 19-11 to the over at home, but the Islanders are 13-9 to the under. They've got the man in here at goal, it looks like tonight, with Sorokin. Now, it could be Bill Husso here on the back-to-back tonight after last night. So we'll see what Anaheim does do in goal here. Dostal, could be a Bill Husso here is what I'm thinking. Let me look at what happened there last night, actually. Yeah, Dostal was in there last night, stopped 21 shots, but 21 and 26. So pretty good night there for the Abs. All right, I'll be waiting here for you guys. See what you think. Even with Sorokin, like Anaheim does go. We know their offense is so explosive, but are they really going to be able to put one over here um, on Sorokin here tonight after just scoring one last night? These two teams have met back in December, and their first meeting was 5-2. Islanders got the win at home. The losing team in this game has scored an average of 1.2 goals per game in the last four meetings between the two teams. So the meeting here, like I said, 5-2 in that one. All right, let's go to the chat, and the show's over. Thank you for joining me here. Okay. Oh, Riddich going to be in there. Okay, thank you. Oh, that changes things there, doesn't it? If you don't have uh, um, Sorokin in there. Okay, thank you. Yes. Riddich comes in here 13, 8, and 3 with a 2.63 goals against. Give him credit. I mean, he's actually performed pretty admirably. Riddich did have a tough one there. He allowed 4 goals, but did get the win against Florida 5-4. So it's going to be a little bit of a rough patch here, a little bit of late for Riddich right now. So let's see what you got here. I got to make my call here in the final game of the night. I want to hear from you, and then we're done here on night moves. I put Riddich in there. Look, I'm going to go over. I'm going to go over after what I saw last night. Give me the over in this one. I don't mean to be mean. Riddich has good numbers, but look, the Ducks scored 1 last night, and if it's Husso in there, give me the over. All right, here we go. And Timmy says he likes, Riddich. Hey, give the Islanders credit right now, right? I mean, you figure right now you got to like the Islanders to keep on going here. I mean, man, they're not going to catch Carolina, but they're going to be in there in the postseason, and they're hot right now with this winning streak, 5 in a row. So maybe they can get this one against the Ducks. Ducks have been terrific. Okay, that's it for Night Moves. Thanks, everybody, for joining me. Going to be great sports betting day tomorrow. Also, Indian Wells getting underway. Can't wait for that. I think I'll have some tennis picks here at Indian Wells tomorrow. I mean, let's go over to Tony'sPicks.com real quick because I got to show you, hey, check out all of our handicappers over at Tony'sPicks.com. But I'm going to be coming in there with some action, and look at the tennis record I got here so far for you guys in 2026, or let's see, maybe the month. Well, we could be selective here, but hey, last 30 days, 22-12 with my tennis picks. And look, I don't give out any $2 favorites here in tennis. All of my picks are the closest rated matches. I'm not giving out anything over $1.40 here on this site. I'm usually just keep it right at the pick'ems. I mean, that's my job. I mean, anybody can go out there and give you a $2 favorite and still got to win, more than 2/3 of the time. I like to keep it right with those even money shots and show you that I can pick the winners in tennis. So we're getting ready for a big week of action in Indian Wells tomorrow, major tennis tournament in California, and that's where all the players are at this week. So make sure I'm going to get on it here right now. I've already printed out my numbers, and I'm going to have some tennis action here. Of course, Vegas Al's right there, 2-1. Good job, Al. All right, so heading over to Tony'sPicks.com, use the promo code TonyT at checkout, save 15% off those premium pick packages here. And there you see my numbers there right now. Like I said, I think we need to get that UCLA winner in there. That's fine. We had a good run. Take a look. See, look, we got a lot of great cappers, and a lot of them have better records than I do in most of these sports. But if you add them all up together, you're not going to see many cappers who are profitable right now. They don't have enough sports for me here at Tony's Picks. So look, all the ones that really mean something where you can get down a list, a little bit of good money here. Like I said, these are my high-end boutique high roller plays. You're going to want to make sure if you're paying here with me $3, $4, $5, $7 a pick to depending on your packages, you're going to want to be able to make sure you can cover those costs. I've got to hit at a much higher rate than 52.38% to make it worth your while. So that's why all these records are very important when you look at these here, and you have to make sure that you can get a good standard size bet, or at least disperse the money around and be able to get the coverage that you need in order to pay for the cost of the picks here, because I have to come in closer to 56.5% to make sure I get you the winners. That's if you're betting a few quote unquote dollars per game, if you know what I mean. So make sure you check me out over at Tony'sPicks.com, and I'll be back tomorrow night with more night moves here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. Make sure you join Tony T and his panel in the morning here for the Tony's Picks morning show, and then we have Rod get you ready with the happy hour. Vegas Al getting back into the swing of things here, hopefully, with his look ahead show, and we got more big things planned for you here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel, the 53,000 subscriber juggernaut. So make sure you set those notifications and be ready for when we go live here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. Andre's got his tennis ready to go thanks to the chat pros. Man, they were on it tonight. Up one money, had the Ducks in there. And I want to thank everybody, all those chat pros, for helping me get through the show. Otherwise, I'd just be talking to myself, which I pretty much was doing anyways. All right, thanks a lot, everybody. We'll catch you again here tomorrow on the Tony's Picks Night Moves show for Tony'sPicks.com. I'm Ramon Scott. So long from Las Vegas.